Hello, my dear students, my dear cadets, my dear aspirants of 2027 CSS exams. A very fresh morning, and it's really heartening to share with you a very important topic today, directly related to your competitive challenge that you have accepted to face. Greeting from my side. Yes, dear audience, yes, dear competitors, today's topic is very, very important. You know, history of Pakistan's civil service is not merely a history of exams only. It is a history of dreams, history of discipline, history of sacrifices, and the history of national pride, national service. But all the toppers so far from all the exams, CSS exams, since its start, all the toppers, they have been extending, they are extending even today. Yes, dear audience, it's from earliest common training program commoners conducted after establishment of Pakistan's competitive exams system to present day, CSS toppers have been very important. They have left behind valuable memories, their reminiscences, their beautiful, what I should say, their footprints left behind for you people to step on, to follow, to go exactly in line with their course of action that they adopted and they succeeded in their examination. The CSS toppers have left behind valuable, rare, unique, unforgettable, and rather to be followed by all of you, sweet memories. Their interviews, their articles, their reflections, how did they do? And how did they perform? How did they prepare themselves? How had been the challenge for them to accept? And then, of course, they were ready to face the challenge, and then they achieved it. The goals they achieved. Yes, dear audience, although every topper belongs to a different area, a different province, a different educational background, and a different occupational group, their written memories reveal remarkable similarities. Almost they are one. The togetherness and the oneness of their competitive spirit, of their competitive sentiment, of their competitive readiness, of their competitive, effort, and their determination to sit in the competitive examination, that is the same. Despite they were from different area, despite they were from different provinces, different, segments, they are different identities, different educational background and occupational groups, but their written memories reveal remarkable similarities. Yes, all the toppers from the first commoner batch till date, the latest one, everybody, their success was not accidental. It was not an accidentally that they embraced successes, and they are the toppers of all the CSS commoners, CSS commons batch, all the batches, they the crux of their interviews, the crux of their talks, the crux and the gist of their experiential efforts, and all they put in for themselves to emerge as the succeeded ones, I am going to share with you people, because their success was not accidental. It was built upon certain timeless principles. So today, spreading over almost all the successful candidates from all the batches of commons, all the batch, the first batch, first commons, second commons, third commons, and all the batches, all the course mates, all the CSS mates, all the comrades, their camaraderie, their companionness, their oneness, their togetherness, that may be from a different area, may be from a different province, may be from a different educational background, but their experiences are almost the same. So I am going to share it with you people, because the aspirants, the competitors, the toppers of 2000, approaching 2027 batch, commoners batch, that you will be targeting, you will be, focusing to grab it, to get it. So today I will present distilled wisdom of generations of CSS toppers. So from number 1 onward, almost 12, 13 important headings that I would be share with you. I'll be sharing with you the wisdom, the oneness, almost the common among commoners, common among the CSS toppers, almost distilled wisdom, the gist, the crux of almost all the toppers that I have taken out from the examiner reports as well. It's an academic data. It's an academic sharing with you people, just for you people to prepare in a befitting manner. The first thing, which is quite common among all the toppers, that was every topper began as an ordinary student. Very, very important, gentlemen, that all the toppers and every topper started his preparation as an ordinary student, ordinary candidate, ordinary desirous or aspirant. One recurring theme in almost all memoirs and interviews is that all the toppers did not consider themselves extraordinary. That they did not have their propensity, their proclivity, their attitudinal responses to this challenge of CSS. That was not that they were extraordinary people, descended lot from heaven, and they are the sacred cows, and it won't be possible for them to do it. They were ordinary students. Many openly admitted, for example, weak English at the beginning, poor reading habits, poor writing habit and reading habit, and then initial failures, lack of confidence, limited resources, so on and so forth. A lot of things were so commonly traceable in their lives, and they all admit, and they all said it. And believe you me, it was really the excellent interaction with this CSS Academy there at Lahore, when I stayed there. Allah may place the departed soul of Chaudhry Iftikhar Sahab in the eternal peace in paradise. He was there, and for almost 30 years he had been there at the academy, the CSS Academy, the Pakistan PAS campus, Civil Services Academy, Lahore. I was there, and this shield was offered to me, and the crux, the gist of all those with whom I interacted and then came to know that they all were weak English at the beginning, they said, poor writing habits, they said. They agreed upon that, and unanimously they were just commonly accepting this weakness, that they did have initial failures, and the lack of confidence was there, limited resources were there, the humble background that was there. But their message was, and then inverted commas, let me share it with you. They are from the academy and all the retired CSP officers from first common. Inverted commas. What is the message from all of them? All the toppers. CSS does not reward genius alone. It rewards preparation. Inverted commas closed. The genius is not rewarded, just only the gut, the inbuilt device in you to prove your worthiness to your, or to prove that you are worthy enough to compete and grab the topper's positions. It is not only because of your genius, it is because of your preparations. And what is the lesson from them? The toppers, lesson for you is, do not compare your beginning with someone else's finishing point. For example, the start, the middle, and then the end of all those toppers whom I met, whose reflections, interviews, and their the secrets of their successes, all that was in the print media, in the electronic media, and everybody came to know. And those toppers went up to grade BPS 22. Yes, of course. Went for the foreign courses, foreign staff courses, and then they did the Pakistan basic course, and then of course basic training and all that. By and by, gradually, progressively, they went on getting the professional prosperity, and the journey went up. But initially in CSS exam, what is the lesson for you? Point number 1 I have already discussed, and the lesson is, do not compare your beginning with someone else's finishing point. The gist number 2 that I am going to share it with you people, that they read newspapers religiously, strictly, soldierly, with discipline, with insistent and consistent habits to read the newspapers daily. Nearly every CSS topper emphasized daily newspaper reading. Traditionally, they did make a mention of those newspapers that they had been religiously reading. Dawn, International Magazine, policy journals, economic surveys were regular companions, and they used to keep it with them. They used to have them, and they had to read it out. And then, of course, you see, they had to go through even for just traveling, they used to read the newspapers and journals and economic surveys. They did not merely read headlines. They asked, why did this happen? What are causes? What are the consequences? While reading, you ask questions also. Critically, analytically, you are in fact asking yourself, or you are asking the article or the columnist, article writer, or the newspaper, and trying to get the cause. That what is the cause and effect. So they asked, why did this happen? All of them, all the toppers. What are causes? What are the consequences? What is Pakistan's interest? And what is the lesson for you people? Yeah. A future civil servant must think analytically rather than memorize mechanically, like a machine. Like you see, you are stirring the bombardment of incoming information that is being stored, and your CPU is full of information, but the understanding is not there. The critical appreciation is not there. The depth of knowledge is not there. So this was the second point. And the third point, they said, all of them, all the toppers, I have, you see, summarized and abridged ideas, abridged shape, abridged lessons for you people. I am sharing with you people because this is going on, is important time. June 2026. And you have to, you see, give your completion of preparation, okay report to yourselves by mid of the January 2027. The third point, writing practice was their secret weapon. Yes, you see, the writing practice, writing. It's there. All of them, all the toppers previously, it was their secret weapon. Perhaps most repeated advice from all the toppers that remained, just only one, within inverted commas, I write for you people. Writing made the difference. Beautiful. They said, writing made the difference in our success. So most candidates read extensively, few write extensively. Toppers, they said that they wrote essays weekly. They have been practicing precis writing regularly, solved past papers, developed outlines, improved handwriting and presentation. And what is the lesson for them, for you people? What is the lesson from them for you? The knowledge wins marks only when expressed effectively and expressed clearly, when expressed legibly, when expressed it's thoroughly, critically, analytically. So this is the message to all of you. The fourth very important learning point, the principle that all the topics they have given to you through me. They treated time as a sacred resource. This time, I'm talking to you. It's morning, and fresh morning. And it is the 30th of May, and it's, you see, quite freshness is there. Freshness I have already talked about in one of the videos. I did talk about the freshness means that everything is ready to absorb, to understand, to have the deep meaning there. So freshness is there. All the 5 systems in your body They are fresh. They are spontaneous. They are in a mood, in a biological way and in a biological situation to accept almost everything. Billions upon billions tissues of brain are ever ready to accept almost everything as the permanent memory, unforgettable memory. So they treated time as a sacred resource. Toppers consistently describe a disciplined routine, common features which was traceable in almost all the top toppers. That is morning. What was to be done in the morning? I talked about that it is compulsory papers, essay, pressy, and then of course maybe newspaper reading. Then is current affairs notes, Islamic studies, very, very important. And then in the afternoon, optional subjects, evening revision, night essay or answer writing, it is the MCQs, the revision that you have to give to your daily, all prepared in the morning, mid-morning, early morning, mid-morning, and the last portion of the morning, then early noon, afternoon, and then early evening, mid-evening, and in the evening, and then early night at night. By 10:30, you have to have very sound sleep, 6 to 8 hours. Important. And by 4:30, quarter to 5, you have to get up and you have to wake up in the morning for your next daily routine. So their schedules varied, but one principle remained constant: every day counted. Irrespective of Sundays, irrespective of Fridays, Sundays or Saturdays, somebody's marriage or not marriage, but you are adhering to your routine habits, daily habits, hourly habits, and you are connected with it. You do not let your daily routine get disturbed. So every day counted, they said, and you must get a lesson from them. Principle number 5, lesson number 5 for you from all the toppers. Past papers were their compass. They had to, be compassing almost magnetic source of feedback to them to appraise or to have appraisal or to dig out the actual technique, the actual thing which is agreeably or unanimously it was acceptable to all the examiners in all the CSS exams, because all the toppers, they are on the same grade on this very important point. They say that the past papers were their compass. Almost every topper studied past papers spanning many years. They examined repeated themes, question patterns, examiner preferences, emerging trends. Why? Because in all the examiner reports, the next commoner groups, next commoner batch, next competitor, next exam, CSS exam, competitors and students and candidates, they had to go through the examiner reports. And that is why they gave preference and they gave importance, they gave it imperative that repeated themes, question patterns, examiner preferences, emerging trends. What is the lesson for you? The gist of the lesson from them is that the past papers reveal the mind of the examiner. If you, just because I am sharing it with you based on my new, a little change and amended, because here at my academy, virtually and online what I'll be sharing with all my candidates, with all my desirous of CSS exams aspirants. This time they are appearing. It is just only based on the CSS exam 2025, CSS exams 2024, CSS exam 2022, CSS exam 2021. Examiner reports as well. I have gone through, I have read, and this is the gist which I have also included when I was in interaction with the toppers of all the CSS commoner batches. So what is the lesson for you? Past papers reveal the mind of the examiner. Sixth principle, sixth lesson for you from the toppers. Toppers developed opinions. What sort of opinion they develop? For example, unanimously all toppers they agreed and they are in agreement with each other. And what is that? CSS is not a memory competition. It is a test of judgment. You are supposed to be judgmental. You are supposed to be cognitively argumentative. You are supposed to be cognitively critical. You are supposed to be analytical. You are supposed to be appreciating. Appreciating means appreciatively. You have to be critically. You have to come out with your genuine and original point of view. Successful candidates developed balanced opinions on what? On variety of issues like governance, foreign policy, economy, climate change, educational constitutional issues. What is the lesson for you? The competitors are my students. And what is the lesson for you? The first and foremost, I have already talked about, because this is the gist of all the toppers. What is the lesson? That civil servants are expected to think, not merely reproduce facts. They think, they evaluate, and in a jiffy, without wasting time, they come out with the solution as well, because once the decision is delayed, the decision is denied. As justice delayed, justice denied. The leaders, one of the top leadership quality is one of the top leadership quality, that you have to decide. Decisiveness. Immediately, you have to come out with the decision. Keeping in view, evaluating the pros and cons, all the negative, positive, and all the evaluating almost everything, and you come out with the decisions, and the decision is there given by you. Lesson from the toppers to you. Civil servants are expected to think, not merely reproduce facts. The lesson number 7. It's very important, unanimously they said about it. They maintained emotional stability, that they had to be emotionally balanced, composed. The proclivity, the propensity, the attitudes, the responses, the mental responses, the billions upon billions tissues of brain once collide with one another inside their brain. So they produce currents, and producing currents means the ideas are being produced by the brain, handed over to your mind, to your creativity. You undergo a sort of real experience of creativity. And there, you see, creative outcome of that biological and mental and intellectual processes, they gave birth to your original, genuine, beautiful, maybe practically applicable there on ground solution, your solution. So what is the seventh? They maintained emotional stability. Toppers described phases of what? That they underwent and they had been facing a little, you see, up, down. What was there? A little morose with pulled faces. They had to stick to that discipline that they had to prepare themselves for. They had to consume that time, maybe half an hour, for current affairs. So toppers, they described and they unanimously agreed upon one, that phases of anxiety, isolation, self-doubt, family pressure, yet they all remained. They remained emotionally composed. They were not, they did not get disturbed. And they learned to remain emotionally composed. How? It is up to them. A famous lesson from several successful ones, all the toppers, they shared their almost the same lesson being shared with you people, because you are also budding topper. You are also outstandingly going to compete the competitive challenge, and you will be among those top 40 toppers, God willing, God willing. A famous lesson from several successful candidates is, within inverted commas, consistency beats motivation. I quote, consistency beats motivation, unquote. Motivation fluctuates, discipline remains. This is the pearl of wisdom, the gist. That is the abridged message. That is the important message from all the toppers for you, because you are going to be companion, die-hard competitors, toppers, high achievers among 40 toppers of 2027 CSS exams. Yes, the eighth principle. They avoided the notes trap. Notes trap. Many high achievers of previous CSS and the toppers, previous CSS exams, they did warn. And what was the warning from them? A little, you see, jolting and mobilizing your conscience that wake up, be mindful of this. Toppers, budding toppers, wake up. And what was the warning? The warning was against excessive dependence on ready notes. No need to depend on already noted down, jotted down, all brilliant ideas of others. Why not your notes prepared and made and summarized, precise, written again and again by you and sent to Colonel's Academy, CSS Academy, Bahawalpur, cab to Colonel Tosif. Again and again it is checked, and it is then finally sent back and shared back with you with the mistakes underlined and circled. Errors, mistakes, rather the blunders, maybe grammatical blunders, maybe grammar mistakes, maybe use of tense, maybe narration, direct and indirect narration, maybe active voice, passive voice, maybe parts of speech, maybe you see use of parts of speech, or maybe the paraphrasing, or maybe pointing out some mistakes there. Once you see using the punctuation marks or punctuating the paragraph, And then, of course, a lot of things are there. Maybe spelling one of the words. So this is how that you have to be mindful of all these. So this is the warning that excessive dependence on ready notes. Again and again, you prepare your own notes. Again and again, you write. So instead, all of them, they have been reading original sources. They have been preparing personal notes. All of them, they have been making their own summaries. They have been writing their own summaries. They have been writing and coining the titles of passages, comprehension passages themselves and their own. Updated information continuously they have been doing. What is the lesson for you? Dear budding toppers, for you, lesson from all the toppers is ownership of knowledge produces confidence. Ownership of knowledge means your genuine knowledge. You are the owner of all prepared command or your control over yourselves. Now, this is your property. That is your, mental property. That is your own. No more it is the bookish. No more it is the talk show. No more it is the editorial of the editorial edited by any newspaper editor. It's your own. Now it is your own. So what is the lesson for you? Ownership of knowledge produces confidence, produces self-confidence, produces your self-reliance, your self-dependence, your self-confidence. So all that is there, lesson from the toppers. The rule number 9, lesson number 9, all the toppers they gave to you, and I'm sharing it with you people from the Colonel's CSS Academy Bahawalpur cap. English was treated as a skill. English, the communication through which you will be writing, you will be answering, you will be giving your answers to the examiner, you will be just giving a little shape to your answers. It will be in a written shape. It will be on a paper, written paragraphs, sub-paragraphs. Even paragraphically, you are going to present your complete answer for evaluation, for marking by the examiners. So, updated, the 9th, very important, that is, English was treated as a skill by all the toppers previously. What did they say? The toppers, they said, repeatedly stressed, and they gave emphasis on this, that English is, they gave emphasis on this, that English was learned through reading, writing, editing, practicing, speaking, reading, listening, and not through just only shortcuts. Not shortcuts. Not, the like a parrot you memorize and then you reproduce there on the papers. I'm sorry. It's not possible. It's not acceptable. Common habits unanimously agreed upon by all the toppers of CS6 exams, and they all agreed upon unanimously. And togetherness is there, oneness is there on this point, because they agreed upon and they had been doing it, and that is why they met success, they embraced success, they were toppers. And the toppers, they said that common habits, vocabulary notebooks, editorial reading, essay writing, grammatical exercises. What is the lesson as far as English communication is concerned? What is the lesson from them? English is a daily discipline. Even to think, you have to be in English. Alone in your room, you are squatting down there on the ground or on a mat, and there are scattered pages, and you have got your scheduled, you see, tagged registers there in front of you, and there is a proper way of your study room that you are squatting down there on the ground. Your laptop is there, and everything is there. Digitally, you are well equipped. The study aids, not teaching aids, study aids, they are also available. They are on the, because they all were from a humble background. And what they have been doing, they have been just improving. They have been talking to each other. They have been talking to themselves, self-talking, self-conversing, self-discussion, self-asking, asking from your own selves. That English is daily discipline. What is the 10th principle? I mean, it's very, very important. Revision was more important than reading. Marvelous. I gave almost 90% total focus on this, that whatever you read, whatever you write, whatever you listen, whatever you jot down, whatever you write down, whatever you note down, everything has to be given revision. And the revision not once, again and again, again and again, again and again. One of strongest observations from all the toppers previously, their memories, their sweet memories, their reminiscences, they recalled and they shared it with me, is that, sir, Colonel Saab, I revised more than I read. I revised more than I read. Means they revised more than they read. She revised more than she read. He revised more than he read. You see, this is how that was a small little sentence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words sentence, compound sentence, and the huge amount of understanding and lesson, huge amount of learning is there for you, budding candidates, budding toppers. I repeat for you, one of the strongest observations from all the toppers was that, sir, Colonel Saab, I revised more than I read. Many candidates accumulate material. Many out of you may be in a habit to accumulate, to get material, summaries, cutting, clippings, notes, already written notes, jotted down notes, and there is a huge amount or the bucket full of almost complete water, or a room full of all those spreadsheets and all that. The topper, the many candidates accumulate material. Toppers consolidate it. A well-revised notebook, often a well-revised, rewritten, revised, and re-pondered over, re-thought over notebook often outperforms 10 unread books. One notebook, rewritten notebook, re-revised notebook, that is revised notebook, very carefully, very focusedly, prepared by you, genuine, your well-revised notebook often outperforms 10 unread books. It's a maxim. You see, you have to believe in it. The principle and the lesson number 11 from all the toppers. They thought like future officers. They almost had to perceive, they have to wear a permanent identity on themselves. They had to think all the time that they were like future officers, like future CSP officers. Yes, dear competitors, even before joining service, successful candidates cultivated, they planted, they permanently, they started thinking, and they had to give, they have to transform themselves into that deep understanding, permanent understanding, defining themselves that they are thorough professionals. And professionalism, neutrality, public spirit, all were the identifying, identifying escorts, escorting their personality all the time. Professionalism, neutrality, public spirit, integrity. They understood that CSS is not merely a job examination, it is a preparation for public leadership. Next very important principle that they thought they shared, and I had to pick it out from their impressions, from their reflections, from their interviews, from their writings, from their discussions, from their sharing of views there, or the secrets of their success. For I picked it up and I collected, and the number 12 was failure was not the end. That was not the end, failure. Several celebrated officers did not qualify on their first attempt. Yes, some failed written papers, some failed in interviews, some improved their score dramatically in later attempts. Their message is failure is feedback. Failure or failure is feedback. Timeless advice from generations of CSS toppers. Read daily. Knowledge accumulates gradually. Write daily. Expression determines marks. Revise weekly. Memory requires reinforcement. Think critically. Analyze. Analysis earns distinction. Remain balanced, calm, serene, and you are a still personality, a still mind. Not, calm and serene mind, calm, but there is a volcanic, activity, mental activity, inside, invisible. And that is, not to be seen, invisible and not to be seen, inside, but outside, you are calm and serene. Exam test temperament as well as intellect. Serve a high purpose, because the finest officers entered in civil service with a sense of national duty, national pride. All of them, they said about it. Quotable quote for CSS candidates, for you people, for you to follow. Success depends upon previous preparation. Once again, lovely. Because it is the Chinese philosopher, Chinese strategist, Chinese warrior, Chinese philosopher, warriors are philosopher, Chinese thinker, Confucius, who said, and I quote, success depends upon previous preparation, unquote. Benjamin Franklin once said, and I quote, well done is better than well said, unquote. There is yet another beautiful quotable quote by a Greek philosopher, celebrated philosopher, Aristotle. Excellence is not an act but a habit. Excellence is not an act but a habit, because it's commonly attributed to Aristotle. The future depends on what you do today. Then yet there is another quotable quote: dreams are not what you see in sleep. Dreams are those that do not let you sleep. Unquote. And the concluding message for all of you, dear toppers, before I say goodbye: dear future civil servants, collective memory of CSS toppers across generations can be summarized in one sentence: read deeply, write regularly, think independently, revise relentlessly, and serve honestly. Examination hall rewards preparation. Civil service rewards character. I repeat, examination, CSS examination rewards preparation. But civil service, the CSP officers' presence are their identity that rewards character. Build both. May your name be counted among the successful candidates of approaching CSS examination 2027 in mid of February next year. God bless you, and lot of prayers from Colonel Tosif Kamal, the Commandant CAP, Colonel's CSS Academy, Bahawalpur, with a very humble request: do own me, do share your comments, and do subscribe my channel. God bless you. Thank you very much.